Welcome to Mulligan Stew. My name is Terrydavidmulligan. Matt Layzell has joined me as I promised he would. Matt Rose is, I believe, is on the run from the law and can't be found.
He does not have his priorities straight in life, let me tell you.
Now, I think right now he's probably ducking. Um, First of all, welcome to the show. Nice to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Um, I have been watching you from afar, and it's time to pay attention to the music. Um, first things first. Just tell music fans everywhere who's in this band, and just give us a little thumbnail sketch of each.
Yeah, the Matinee has we're going on 16 years now as four original members. So there's Matt Rose, who couldn't make it today. He's guitar, banjo, a bit of mandolin, pedal steel, whatever we task him with. There's Jeff Petrie on rhythm guitar and some solos now as well. Pete Lemon on the drums. So those are the four founding members, and we all sing and collaborate. But we're also blessed to have George Cooling on keyboards now for the last 7-8 years, and trading off on bass duties are Marcus Abramczyk and Joseph Lubinsky, who are both tremendous bass players.
Yeah. You decided to hook up on this record. Did the songs decide that Steve Dawson was the guy who should be in the studio, or was it, or what? Which came first?
You know, Steve's somebody who he's always been on our radar, and we had wanted to work with him over the years. And we have a history of working with Steve's as producer. We had Steve Berlin, obviously, on the first record, Steve Bays on the second record, and the third record we drifted off to a Jamie Candelaro, but it was time to return to Steve's. And Steve Dawson, as I say, was one we'd always wanted to work with. And we messaged him and just said, hey, it feels like it's high time we work together. At that point, we didn't have the songs. We just said, we want to work together. So he wanted to hear everything we were doing. And we started a Dropbox with all the song ideas and just let him hear those, but he'd already signed on. So at that point he was in.
Thing about Steve Dawson is that because he's such a player, he's got a great ear. He can get inside the music. He knows when the guitars are working and when they're not, when the composition is there. He's a songwriter. He talks to songwriters on his podcasts, and he has them going through his studio, and he has great connections. Say the McCrary sisters.
Exactly. Well, he is a player, and so for this, I'm not sure if it's how he always works, but for this, he was very much a band member. So he sat in the tracking room with us and just played the songs. And it was up to us whether we kept everything that he was playing, but a lot of the pedal steel and the slide, the lap steel that you hear, that's all Steve playing on the record in the room with us.
What did it do to the songs to have that extra guitar in there?
I think it gave us a lot of confidence because, this was the first record we'd done coming out of the pandemic years. So we also had never tracked live, committing to that live recording, doing a take and saying we got it. We'd never done that before. So he gave us that boost of confidence, playing with us, and said, okay, there it was, we got it. And we're all looking around saying, are you sure? I missed a note there. He says, no, it's fine. It's good.
The name of the album is Change of Scene. It's really good. I had only heard, a Bad Addiction when I gave you guys a quote, but I was looking forward to the album thinking, if that's just the tip of the iceberg, this is going to be fantastic. And it was.
Appreciate that.
It's just that, thank you. It's just that Change of Scene also applies to the band that you are. Sometimes you lean country, sometimes you lean Tom Petty, sometimes you're the Almonds, sometimes Black Crowes, which is what I hear. The harmonies are very unique. I just like the mix. But somewhere along the way, have you had a discussion between the band saying, who do we want to be? Who exactly?
I think the discussion has been, why haven't we committed to one song, one sound, and just stuck with it sometimes, because it's frustrating for the industry when they're trying to pigeonhole you. And we've walked so many lines, but truthfully, I think, we grew up, I grew up certainly my parents every Sunday, it was put on a vinyl record and listen to that record. And then the next weekend it would be a different record. And all of us had such varied influences. We're a product of that. I don't think any of us identify as just a country rock band or a bluesy rock band.
Matt, you think about the CKUA, for example, on a Saturday, it's Wide Cut Country, and then it's Leroy Stagger, right? And then it's Afro beat music, and then it's the blues show. Well, I'm forgetting somebody, but the blues show with Holger Peterson.
Yeah,
he's been doing that for 150 years, and then there's the stew, and on into an R&B night. That's how music should roll out. That's why CKUA is so popular.
Yeah, and I think as an artist, I get bored if I'm listening to an album or an artist that just does the same thing over and over again. I can still enjoy that group, that a few of their songs, but I like the fact that we challenge ourselves to try different things and not be shy to try different sounds as well. It's been part of our growth.
Okay, we're going to talk to a couple of tracks here with Matt Layzell from the Matinee. Steve Dawson produced at the Armory Studios in Vancouver. Matt Rose is, I believe, has been pulled over for a speeding ticket and will not be with us today. The first track that you guys laid on me was "Bad Addiction," which had a James Dean reference in it. That's what I remember. That stood out. I don't think I heard. I don't know if the McCrarys were in there or not, but I just was blown away by it. Were they a late addition, or was there always going to be counter voices?
Well, I mean, when we did the record, we finished the song. We obviously played it live and finished the song, and we were sitting there saying, "This song, it's got a bit of that soul-leaning tendency. It could really benefit from another voice on there." And Steve, as you mentioned, he has the connections. He said, "Without a doubt, I have a few options for you." He said the McCrary sisters, and he also mentioned a few other names that I don't know if I should say, but when he said, "Let me just try the McCrary sisters out on this," it's three sisters around one microphone.
That's right.
I'm sure they took one pass and nailed it.
Piece of cake
for them. Yeah.
I like the fact that all four members are in the songwriting credits. I like that a lot. It means everything in this very conflicted songwriting cage match where everybody's watching for their points. I like the fact that all four names are there. But somebody has to bring songs in. Which ones did you bring in?
Wow. I mean, you put me on the spot there. I mean, I brought in Bad Addiction.
Right.
That one, that was me fiddling around with a ukulele, and I spent a night going down the rabbit hole of James Dean and just learning a bit more about his really short career, but prolific.
Well, he burned bright. He burned
legend.
Bright. He really did.
Exactly.
But you feared for him because you thought, wow, he goes some dark place. He comes from some dark places.
Exactly.
How about Road to Hell, which sounds I made the Petty reference, but that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
So that was a Matt Rose tune that he brought in, and he had I think he basically had a verse, chorus, and that was a late addition. He brought that to the Armory. We hadn't even really played around with it too much. So I got my hands on it and added another verse and the bridge, and we just went in and took it for a drive. The first time it felt like this is a good tune. It felt
good bones. It's got good bones as well. Another one is a Shake It. I knew I was going to like it just from the title. But is who's playing the upright bass?
So that's Joseph Lubinski on the bass on that track.
Nice.
Yeah. He did a great job in the studio.
And did you come in with that song?
Well, so that's actually a tune Matt Rose had, but lyrically it was much different. So he brought it in, and then again I kind of put my twist on it and changed up a bit of the melody, but it didn't take much, and we all kind of thought, hey, this is going to be a fun one.
And whose idea was it to invite Allison Russell to join you?
Well, that was Steve Dawson. So Steve, again, after we finished that song, he said, again, this could benefit from another voice. And that one, he'd actually suggested Amy Helm as well. And I'll be honest, I was pretty excited by the fact of, maybe having Amy sing on that track. Obviously, our love of her father, the band, and that history there. But Steve was kind of pushing. He said, nobody is hotter than Allison right now in the world that you want to be in.
True.
And she hadn't even been, nominated for Grammys at that point. He had an inkling that she was on the right path, and he was right. So that came about. I think it would have cost us a lot more money to have Allison work on it now.
Matt Layzell, give me the story behind a change of scene. Actually, I think it's tied to. It may be tied to train rolls on.
Yeah.
Change of scene. Usually it means I need to change. I need to get away from this relationship, or I need to just change up what I'm doing. I'm going through the motions of what is called a life. What set it in motion?
Well, with that song in particular, we as a band, we've been a band for 16 years. So that's, if we were to tally the amount of hours we've spent in a van together, just driving, staring out a window, and you go so many places, but you're not really a tourist. You're on a tight schedule, and you get to a venue, you load in, you play. By the time you get to the hotel, you just want to sleep, and then it's an early morning out.
Yeah.
You don't really
yes, you were in Seattle for about 16 hours, and then you're not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, that was that I would think we were feeling a little stagnant. We've spent all this time together, but we haven't really done things together apart from play the shows, which we love. But you have to remember, we grew up together. We've been friends for a long time, and that dynamic of the friendship had changed over the years to become a bit more business-like, a bit more routine with the band. So we had the idea one day, let's get in the van and just go on a road trip. We haven't just hung out as friends and remembered what that feeling is like, to go somewhere new and explore without the purpose being a show at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
So that's what we did. We hopped in the van, and the only thing we had planned was a friend of ours from Toronto, Whitney Rose, a great artist. She had a show in Portland, so we wanted to make her show. But apart from that, we planned nothing. We didn't even book a hotel room.
That was a good reason to go.
It was a great reason to go, but the purpose was to go and just have a bit of a ramble together.
Did the song write itself during or after, or what?
Yeah, so we took along a notebook, a collective notepad, and anything we saw along the way, anything was fair game. Just write it down. You don't know how it might speak to you later on. And so we did the road trip. We spent about 4 days down in Oregon, did the sand dunes, hopping along the coast there. Beautiful drive. And then the book sat there for a few weeks, and then I started going through that collection of notes and anecdotes and names of people we met, and kind of put it together as a story of this trip. Yeah, it's very literal, a lot of the lyrics in that song.
It's a good track. It's a good.
Well, that's what we needed. We needed a change of scene to remember that it's fun. It's fun, this life.
And is train rolls on connected to?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it is, because that idea that we still love being in the van and going show to show came out of that. Yeah, we love doing it.
Nobody can understand this life. Nobody can understand the life, the smells,
yeah,
the personal social habits. You can't. You have to be very forgiving of you, and it tests your friendship.
It really does. But the train rolls on because we have that calling to keep at it, for sure.
Why does it keep rolling on? What is it that keeps you guys together?
I think it's because we feel most at home in that van on that stage. And I'm sure a lot of bands that have been at it as long as we have, they get to a point where they either say it's not fun anymore, or, you know what, we still feel something magical when we do this.
Okay. When you stand back and listen to these songs and you go, why is this band not even bigger than they are? I asked that question. No,
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
what do they have to do? What base do they have to touch that they haven't already touched?
You know, it's funny because before the record came out, you know, I started playing the songs and the album specifically for a few close friends to get their reaction. And a lot of them really thought, hey, this is your best work. Like, we're excited for you. And then inevitably that topic came up. And one of our friends, he's known us since the early Gastown days. His answer is that we've never been hardcore drug addicts who didn't have, you know, the ultimatum of I either make this or, you know, I'm going to combust. So we all kind of came from stable families. We all, you know, had jobs that kept a roof over our head. We didn't have any, you know, vices to the extent that it wasn't an option.
Are you saying, Matt, the curse of being normal?
Maybe it's the curse of being normal.
No.
I mean, a lot of people in our families and our friends would venture to say we're not normal,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
normal,
No, that's
normal
true.
enough that we can have a regular life. Yeah.
It's very true. No, it's very true.
Yeah.
You're right about being on the road and being away from home, and the song becomes the something you sing on stage. You're
Yeah.
thousands of miles from home, and you're singing about home. So, I mean, it's a strange and wonderful way to make a living and a career and make your dreams come true.
It is. And you know what? I think if the only reason we'd been doing it was because we wanted to get, you know, a certain level of fame, then it just wouldn't have worked out. I think the reason we're still able to make music that we do is because we're doing it because we love it. That's why.
Cut to pieces.
Yeah.
There's something about the construction of the song. Did it come in fully formed, or was it formed like a puzzle?
Yeah, that's actually the anomaly on this record. That song has been floating around in, you know, in our minds for years. We actually first wrote a version of that song in 2015, I think, and never recorded it, but we, you know, we took it on the road. We played it a bunch on tour, but it didn't feel right. And inevitably, you know, when a song doesn't feel right, it kind of falls off your radar. You stop playing it. You know, I'd forgotten about it, and we were putting together the songs for the record, and we felt there were a few holes. We needed a few more upbeat kind of grooving songs for this record. And it was Matt Rose. He was just digging through. I'm sure he's got a folder of old demos somewhere, and he found a version of it. And he said, "Hey, do you remember that song? I think there was something there." And so he asked if I wanted to hear it, and I did, but I absolutely didn't want to hear the vocal because I wanted to approach it from, you know, where we are in life now. So he sent me an instrumental of that, and right away,
just a bed track,
just the bed track, yeah. And right away I listened to that, and I could remember the title, and that was it. And so I took a new stab at it, and it honestly it came together real quick. And I think it was just because we were already in that creative space with the album, so that song just fell into place. But the kernel of inspiration for it was years in the making, for sure.
If only Matt Rose were here to add color to that story,
or call me out on the truth of it, maybe.
All right. I've got two Christmas songs on record for you. Two. I got the new one. I got the the Wham hit, the George Michael hit last Christmas, which just came out. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And the other one is a Star Wars Christmas from 2017.
There's actually a third. We did one way back. I'm going to say it was 2012, called "My Gift,"
okay,
which I think is a beautiful Christmas song.
Why are you a Christmas band? and why wouldn't you do a Christmas album or an EP?
That's a good question. When we were on Light Organ Records, you know, they do a great Christmas compilation every year with their artists. So the first one, "My Gift," was a part of, you know, they just asked us to write a song, and so we did. That was our first attempt at writing a, you know, a Christmas theme song. But then we never reapproached that. It was,
you know, if you get it right, if you get
It's
it
pretty
right
lucrative. Well, Terry,
every year.
I mean, when we wrote Star Wars Christmas, we thought, what could be more commercial than combining Star Wars and Christmas? To me, I thought that song was going to be the one that put us on the map.
Where are you going to be come Christmas time?
I'm going to be up Sunshine Coast. This year, we're going to spend it with my family up in Powell River. Well, they're north of Powell River near Lund. So we'll be up in Desolation Sound Christmas this year, which is where the band formed. We our first songwriting trip was right there on my parents' property. So yeah.
You could have been working in the pulp mill. Okay.
Yeah, could have been.
Damn.
Yourself, where will you be?
Oh, I'm right here.
Right here.
Right here. Yeah. Right here. Yeah. What does 2024 look like? Do you know what wishes and dreams?
Wishes and dreams for sure. But you know, we're working on a bunch of kind of late winter, early spring dates. We've been developing a circuit where we go through Alberta, down through Montana, back up to Vancouver as well. So I'm sure we'll be returning there.
Do you adjust to the market? Do you, if the market wants to hear the country, do you lean that way?
No, I don't think we lean that way. We will pick and choose from our repertoire the songs that we feel will go over.
Sure.
But I don't think we cater. I think we stick to what we do. But we've become good at reading the audience and what they're connecting with.
That's what I was going to say. How about if 3, 4, 5 songs in, you get a sense that the room wants to rock, or the room is more a country bar. All of a sudden, can you tap dance and adjust?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, we've been alive. Anybody that's been a live band for that long, you know, it's sink or swim. Sometimes you have to.
Hell yes.
You have to know they'll eat you alive if you don't. So, no. The only thing is we won't cater to the eternal requests for Freebirds. That's something we did once. We did once in Toronto at the Dakota. We did once, and never again.
Thank you for this music, and I, for one, I don't want you guys to beat yourself into a pulp. I want you to find the audience yet to be found. And I want you to ride off into the sunset is what I want the Matinee to do.
Well, I can tell you, Terry, this record and the response, at least to the people that have been able to hear it, has been reinvigorating for us. And so that van will, that train, that van, it'll keep rolling on for us for sure.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And say hello to, what's his name again? Matthew Rose.
Rose. Yeah,
Rosie.
Yeah. I'll go bail him out now.
Thank you, Lazy. I appreciate that very much. And well done. Is it on vinyl?
Well, it will be. It will be. Yeah, we put the budget we had into publicists and tracking, which is kind of neat. We for this the first time we've ever approached 3 different markets at the same time. So we had Beth, our publicist, work in Canada, predominantly focused on cut to pieces. We had a company down in the States working Shake It because they felt Shake It could catch there.
Yeah.
And then we had an agency working Bad Addiction in the UK, and it got a lot of love in the UK. So, you know, we figured why not, you know, give it our best shot. So the money's been spent on the promotions, and the next few checks that we get in the mail will go to the vinyl now.
One question.
And we'll get you one. We'll for sure get you one.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. Thank you.